Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Jackie and let's get started. For DIY number 1, I'm going to take some of these wood biscuits that I had left over from other projects from last year. I got these from Amazon, and I'm going to go in with these 3 paint colors from Apple Barrel, give them a full paint both sides. Now I'm going to take the wood biscuits and I'm just going to take some hot glue and adhere them in this manner to create a grouping of 3 like this. And now I'll do another set of 3 in the same manner, 2 down and then 1 in the center, just adding the glue to the sides. There's another one, place it on this side. Now I'll go back to the first group that I glued together, add another bit of glue, place it on the side, and then 1 more, place it on the left side like this. Now I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to take the next set of 3 and adhere them onto the back side of the first set like this. So there's a little gap in the center. Now for the gap in the center, I have these cinnamon sticks from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to take the one that's really thin and cut it in half in this manner, and then just making sure it's going to fit, and it does. Fits pretty perfectly. I'm going to take some hot glue, add a little dab, and stick it inside the center, and voila, just like that, a cute little pumpkin for your tea tray. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with this burgundy set. I'll show you one more time. I'm just going to take a little bit of hot glue, place 2 together like this, add a little bit hot glue on this next one, and place it underneath to make a set of 3. And then I go ahead and do the same thing with these 3 in the same manner. Add a dab of glue, place this one underneath. Now switch them around because the glue is nice and set. Now go ahead and do the same thing. Add another one to the right side, and then another one to the left side. Now I'll flip this over. This one I'm going to do a little bit different. I'm going to take my other piece of cinnamon stick and I'm going to add some glue and place it in the center like this. And then I'm going to take this other set of 3 and add the hot glue to both sides, and then just place it on top. And look at that, super cute. And I did the third one as well. Now here they are, super adorable. Now I made some little bows just with jute twine. This jute twine was pretty fuzzy, so I'm going to take my lighter to remove all the fuzzies, just burn it off. But this lighter, it was kind of worn out, didn't have much fuel in it, I guess, but I had enough to get this one done. So I got this one done at least with this lighter. I might need to refill it or something. I'll have to figure that out, I'm not sure. But I just get these little lighters from the Dollar Tree, so they have in different colors as well. So I'm pretty happy with this one. Just go ahead and remove all the fuzzies like this, and then add some hot glue, and then place it on the front of this little pumpkin. So adorable. These are so fun to make. Great family friendly project for the kiddos as well. Now I went ahead and found my other lighter. This is my red one. Same make, it's just red. This one had more fuel in it, and look at that. Took all the fuzzies away like nothing. And I like to use this clamp to hold it, that way I don't worry about burning my fingers or anything. And then here's my last one. Takes all the fuzzies away. Super fun. I like the way it smells. And I like the way it looks too. It gives it like a little darker burnt look. And I'm just going to add a dab of glue and place it on my next little pumpkin. And then here's my last one. And then for extra embellishment, I had some of this berry garland pieces in my stash. And I'm just going to wrap it around a bamboo skewer nice and tight to create the tendrils. So here's a little spiral looking piece. Here's another one. Sorry, I got to frame a little bit. I always forget I moved my camera. Here's my third one. And then I just take some hot glue and kind of like open it up a little bit and place hot glue on the back. And then I go ahead and attach this to the back side like this and kind of pull up the wire tendrils just a little bit. That way you can see them clearly. And then I do the same thing to the rest. And then that is it for this one. You can also add a little bit of moss if you'd like. You can add it to the bottom, you can add it to the top. You could add some flowers. You could just do all kinds of embellishments with this little project. They're just super adorable, great for a tier tray, great for a flower arrangement or anything. Super cute and super easy. Here's how they look and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 2, I'm going to take this little house frame. This is from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to leave the jute twine on there. I will use the hanger. I'm just going to tuck it underneath. Now I'm taking this puzzle. I found this at the Dollar Tree as well, and it doesn't matter what puzzle you get, any puzzle will do, because we're going to use the back of the puzzle pieces. We're not using the fronts. I'm just going to take a nice bunch and kind of place it on my house form and try to create some kind of a pumpkin shape. Now here are some of the wood stems that I got from Dollar Tree a couple years ago. I still had plenty in my stash, and I'm just going to use one for the stem of my pumpkin. Now I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper and just slide everything on the parchment paper, and I'll go ahead and redo my little shape. It'll be a little bit different, but that's okay. Now I'm going to go in with this orange color by Apple Barrel and painted all the pieces. Now nothing's adhered, so I'm going to use some Mod Podge. This one's in the gloss, and I'm going to take some on my brush and I'm going to start dabbing it everywhere. And I go ahead and do this for a little while, and then I realize, wait a minute, this is not very efficient. Some will be adhered and some won't. So I went to plan B, got a little glass dish and a nice glob of Mod Podge, and I'm using some water, mixing it up, making a thinner amount of this Mod Podge, and just spreading it all over the place like this. And now this worked a little bit better. It was more thorough. I was able to get into all the little nooks and crannies and make sure that every piece of puzzle got attached to something. So I just went dabbing all the way around. I didn't want to move it too much because nothing was really adhered yet. And my form, I was pretty happy with this form. It wasn't as I had it earlier, but oh well. It is what it is. Okay, so here I'm going to go ahead and allow this to dry. Here it is, nice and dry. I'm going to peel it off my parchment paper. You can see all the colors on the back side. And then I'm going to take my little house form, and I'm going to take some of this burlap ribbon that I have in my stash. This one is about a 5 or 6 inch burlap ribbon. I think I got this from Amazon. And I'm going to remove the ribbon ends. We will be using these again in a little bit, as well as some other ones that I have from my last video that I removed as well. So I like to use all my pieces. I'm also removing some of these fibers. On the ends, I like a nice frayed end on all the sides. So I'm pretty happy with the shape. Now I'm going to take some of this Beacon Fabric Tech fabric glue, and I'm just going to go around all the edges with this stuff. It's pretty gummy like, but it works really well. It attaches very nicely, and you don't have to wait around. It's a great product. I love it. And here I'm just gonna put it away, put it back in my little stand that I got from Amazon. I love it. Now I'm going to flip this over, press it down on my little house form, and kind of position it to where it's nice and even. I'm pretty happy with that. And here's my pumpkin, and I'm going to take some hot glue, and I'm just going to place it all around on the bottom, underneath, nice and thorough, and holding it by the little stem, pressing it down. And now I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks adorable. Now I have some of these words left, these wood words from the Dollar Tree. I decided to use Welcome Fall. I used Hello Autumn in my last video, so I just went ahead and decided to use Welcome Fall. And I'm just going to attach it with some hot glue. I'm not going to paint this. I want the contrast of all these colors, of the white, of the orange, and now of this wood color. Now here are all my little fibers that I removed from my burlap ribbon. I'm going to gather them all together and create a knot in the center. And if you follow me, you know I like to do this with my pieces of burlap fibers. Use them as embellishments. I don't like throwing things away. I'm going to take some hot glue, place it right here. And then I'm going to take these sides that I removed earlier, these little ribbon edges. And then I had a couple more from my last video that I didn't get to use. So I'm just going to create a quick little messy bow, and then taking some jute twine and tying it in the center. I just wanted to have a nice natural look, very rustic. And now I wanted to put this on top, but I'm going to cover up my little grouping here, my little gathering here of these fibers. So I decided to remove this real quick. And yes, my stem came off, but that's okay. Add some more hot glue and place it back on. And now I'm going to place my larger messy bow and adhering it to the base of my little stem. And then here are my little fibers from the burlap. And I'll add some hot glue onto this and place it on top. And just to gild the lily, I'm going to add a little bit of this orange and white gingham ribbon from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to make a quick little bow, nothing too fancy. And I'll dovetail the ends, of course, and then I'll just take a little bit of hot glue and I'll just place it stacked with the rest of my embellishments just to give it another layer of interest and texture, and of course the color combination. And that is it for this one. And this is how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 3, I'm going to take a pack of these wood frames. They come in a set of 4 from the Dollar Tree. I think they are adorable. I love the shapes. And I'm going to take some color ink of the Waverly chalk paint, paint them thoroughly, set them aside. Now I'm going to take some craft sticks from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take a few. I'm not sure at this point how many I'm going to use until I start measuring. Well, kind of measuring, guesstimating more like it. So I'm going to take my EMT shears and remove all these little ends and trying to figure out the perfect size. So I think this size is pretty good. So now I'll just use that as a template to create all my little sticks. And I'm just going to cut away, and don't worry, I don't waste any wood. You'll see that in a little bit. You'll see what I do with all this wood. I don't like to waste a thing. So here are my 3 that I'm going to begin with. And I'm going to take a little piece of parchment paper because I'm going to be using some wood glue and I don't want it all over my silicone mat and make a mess, and it's just so I'm just doing a thin little line on the side and then pressing 2 together. And then here's my 3rd one. Do another little line. This one came out a little gloppy, but I was able to move it down and adhering all 3 together, setting this aside. And then I go ahead and do the same thing with the rest of these that I need for my 4 frames. Now here's my little box of remnant pieces of wood. This is where they all go, and if you watch my videos, you guys know I go to this little box pretty often. So now I'm going to go ahead and paint this with the same paint, the Waverly chalk paint in the color ink, and it looks great. Fits perfectly. So now it's time to adhere these. I'm going to use some more of the wood glue, the super glue wood glue, which I love. And I'm just going to do some little tiny dabs because I don't want this stuff oozing out to the front. I removed this one piece here, this little bit of glue, because I thought for sure it was going to ooze out. And some of it does ooze out, but not too much. So I'm just going to press it, and I'm going to use my little craft clamps to help hold everything together while the glue sets. And here you can see on one corner where it did leak a little bit or went through. So I'm taking a baby wipe and just removing it gently like this. Now go ahead and do the rest. Here they are. Now I found these little ghost ornaments. They're plastic. I found them at the Dollar Tree for $1.50. That little orange dot. $1.50 dot. So I'm going to take these cute little ornaments. They are so adorable. When I saw these in the store, I knew I wanted to make this project here. So I'm going to take my EMT shears and remove this top piece. The little ornament piece, we're not going to need that at all. And I'm going to go ahead and cut enough for the rest. Look how cute that's going to look. It's going to look like it's just coming out of the frame. Here are the rest that I'm going to use. I had another pack, so I was able to get this one from another pack because you get 3 in a pack. Now I'm going to take my little finger sander to sand off any yucky pieces that are on the top. And I'm just going to adhere it with some hot glue like this. And I do this to all of them. And you guys, if you follow me, you guys know I have 4 grandsons. These are my grandsons. All right, here's my last one. And now I'm going to take some puffy paint because now they all have a hole on top of their heads. So I'm just going to go around the outer edge and then kind of fill in the center like this. Here's my last one. Now I'm going to take my crocodile, and this is to create a hole. That way I can hang them. And I'm just going to press down and make a little hole like this. And now I'm going to stand them up using these craft clamps. That way my puffy paint will dry well and not like ooze out on the side or something. So here they're just going to stand up and dry. Here they are, nice and dry. Now I'm taking some black and white baker's twine that I got from the Dollar Tree some time ago when they had all the colors for $1.25 each. I thought, wow, that's a deal. So I think I got like a roll or a spool of all the colors because I didn't want to miss out. And here I went ahead and cut 4 strands, and I'm going to make a knot, make a little hanger, and I'm going to take my tweezers and taking my tweezers to poke it through the hole in the front like this with the knot in the front. And I'm going to take the loop part and put it under or into where the knot is. Pull up. That leaves the knot on the back versus having the knot in the front or on the top. So here's my little knot, but it won't stay in place. So I'm going to add just the tiniest little dab of glue, and I'm going to press down the knot gently into the glue, and now that'll set it in place. And I just do this to all 4. And now just to add a little bit more interest, I'm going to take this white marker, paint marker that I have, and I'm just going to outline all the edges of this little frame and also do the oval on the inside. I just take my time to do this, and I do this to all of them, and then that is it for this one. And this is how they look, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 4, I'm going to take this high close dome from the Dollar Tree. I haven't seen these in a while, but I did grab a few when they had them out. And I'm going to go ahead and open it. And I'm going to take one of these bamboo skewers. These are still $1.25, thank goodness. And I'm just going to press it through the hole. There is a hole. So I'm going to press that through there and use my EMT shears to remove the little point. That way it'll sit flush on my table, and then cut off the rest of this bamboo skewer that I won't need. Now I'm taking a small styrofoam ball. This is also from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to poke it through on the top, and I'm trying to see if this is good enough. I just want it maybe a little bit shorter. Press down just a little bit more, and then that's a little bit better, I think. Now I'm going to set this aside. Here is some fabric that I got from the Dollar Tree. I used some for another project, so this was like my leftovers, and this little piece is perfect for what I need. So I'm just going to fold it in half and then in half again, and now kind of taking it and folding it like a, I guess like a napkin, and I'm going to cut from the smallest edge and kind of go around like this, and this should create a pretty perfect circle, and it fits my little ghost pretty well. Now here is my iron mat, and I'm just going to do a little bit of pressing because this fabric had a lot of wrinkles. That always helps with making projects a little easier to manage. Now I'm going to take this set of lights. These are fairy lights. These are from Amazon. The Dollar Tree does have fairy lights, but these have a better price point. These are from Amazon, and they already include the battery, and the battery pack is a lot thinner in profile, so it's easier to conceal in your project. So I like these better, and I'll have them linked in my Amazon storefront if you guys want to check them out, but it's definitely a better price point. So I'm just going to take these lights and kind of use the wire part to wrap it around the styrofoam ball, and then a little bit around the bamboo skewer, and then the rest I'm just going to tuck it into the base as best I can, and then the bottom part I will put it underneath, and I'll tack it underneath in a little bit. So now I'm pretty happy with this. Now I'm trying to see if everything's going to work. Yes, everything looks like it's going to come together pretty well. I'm going to add a dab of glue to the very top, making sure nothing on any of the lights, just the wire. Pressing down and then kind of forming my little ghost. I turn it around and I use a little bit of hot glue to help tack down some of the sides. So just a little bit of hot glue here, and then I'm going to take the fabric and adhere it to itself on the back, and then I'll just fold the front like this. Now I'm going to take some puffy paint. This is from the Dollar Tree. It's in the black. It's really fabric paint, but hey, it puffs up, so I'm going to use it. And this is fabric, so hey. So I'm just going to make 2 little eyes with it. My little ghosty eyes. And now I'm going to take my cloche dome and very carefully and gently put it over my ghost, because this paint is not dry, but I have confidence this will work. And it does. So I'm going to press it down. And look at my little ghost. He's so full. Now here's where I take my battery pack. I'm going to take the side that doesn't have the screws, and I'm just going to tack it underneath, and everything's fitting well. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove the dome off of it again, because I'm going to do a little bit of embellishing. It's just a little too plain. So I'm going to take one of these little pumpkins that come on one of these picks from the Dollar Tree, and I just removed it, and then I'm just going to take some hot glue and then just tack it on to her little body with a few dabs of glue here and there as she's holding this little pumpkin. And this one's going to represent my granddaughter, because she's older and the only girl. So I'm going to go ahead and just get this finished. And now I'm going to take a little bit more hot glue and fix the actual fabric. And I'm just going to take some more dabs of glue to do that. And then I just work on it until I get it to where I like it. And then I just made a cute little bow with some black and white gingham ribbon. And I'll add that to the very top with a little bit of hot glue. And now to finagle everything and put the little dome back on without smashing the bow or anything, I just kind of hold everything down and put the dome back in, have it click back on. And that is it. Here's how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 5, my sweet friend Diane gave me this really cute little frame from Hobby Lobby. Apparently she got it on clearance, so you can see all those stickers everywhere. So I'm going to take my heat gun and try to soften up all this glue. This takes a little bit of time to do, but it's definitely worth it because it makes it easy to pop out the back panel. So just like this. And this just warms up the glue enough to pop it out. So I'm just going to do a little pressure and it just pops right out like that. Real easy. Now I'm going to take some puffy paint. This is by Tulip, and I'm going to create 2 little ghosts with it. So I'm just going to go up, make a little ghost shape, go to the bottom, make little wiggly lines like a ghost would have. And then I'm going to continue the little wiggly line, go up and make a little smaller ghost. This will be my husband and myself. Now I'm going to take some of the apple barrel paint in the color white, acrylic paint, and I'm going to fill in the inside very roughly like this. And I'm going to take a thin brush and kind of like when you're decorating sugar cookies, fill in the rest with this paint very carefully. And because I did an outline, this paint should not run through. It should contain it in there pretty well. So here is my husband. He is nice and done. And here's me, little shorty. And then go ahead and finish that one up. Really easy. Just take my time and remove any air bubbles or a few little air bubbles. So remove that with the brush. Now I'm going to allow this to dry completely. And here it is, nice and dry. Now I'm going to take some more of this black puffy paint. And I'm just going to create some little eyes. 2 little eyes from my hubby. And 2 little eyes from myself. And I'm just going to take this and go ahead and place it back on the frame. Instead of hot glue, I decided to use some wood glue because this is a wood frame and an MDF chipboard little plaque. So I'm just going to use this. I figure this will last longer. So I'm just going to go around the whole thing and just gently place the little plaque, the little backing back on there. Press it down. Now for just a little bit embellishing, I decided to just make a little ribbon bow with this black and white gingham from the Dollar Tree. Just a quick little bow, nothing too fancy. And then I'll just place this with a little bit of hot glue on the very top. Of course, dovetail the ends. Try to make my bow as tight as possible. Snip off the excess. Dovetail the little ends like this. And take a little bit of hot glue and tack it on the very top. And then that is it for this one. This is how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. If you're on Instagram, here's my QR code. I invite you to scan it and come follow me on there. I post on there Monday through Fridays, as well as TikTok. Here's my QR code for there. Here is my QR code for Facebook, also Monday through Fridays, as well as my Pinterest. Here's my QR code for there. And here's my Lemonade account as well. And my Threads account. This is my handle, also Monday through Fridays. Here's my Hometalk QR code. I invite you to come scan it. Post on there twice a month. I do have a Facebook crafting group. I invite you to come join us there. And now we're at the final reveal. Let me know what you think and which one is your favorite one. Well, I'd like to take a moment and express my gratitude to all of you for taking time out of your busy day to watch my video. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. It'll definitely help my channel to grow, and leave me a sweet comment if you'd like. Also, stay tuned for every Friday. I'll have a brand new video with brand new DIYs. I'm going to try very hard not to repeat anything, because we are in the holiday season and we all love that. So if you want to see more, definitely subscribe. More is coming. Until my next video, stay healthy, safe, and strong, and have a great day. Bye-bye.